everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing my Sephora haul try-on video. So I wanted to upload this video on Saturday, but my family decided to come up and visit me. I haven't seen them since my grandfather's funeral in February. They made a last-minute visit, and so I was busy all weekend with a bunch of family and guests and stuff, and you know how that is. And yesterday I was getting my house back into order, so that's the reason why I'm a day late on uploading. I really apologize. So I'm gonna make up for it. We're gonna have a really good week. I'm excited. I'm so excited to be back filming, you guys. I love it. It's my life. I love it. So today I'm gonna try on all the products that I bought through the Sephora sale, and then also throughout the rest of the week I have some really good reviews coming up. I am going to be reviewing the Armani, the Neo Nude foundation. So I got that in stock. I also got the Tarte C Hydro Sealer in stock. I'm excited to share my thoughts on that. So, plus I'm going to have a huge Pat McGrath haul that was sponsored by Magic Links, and I am so grateful. So I have a lot of good stuff coming up this week, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. We're gonna go ahead and jump straight into the full face of all of my new products from Sephora. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so let's start with this Sephora haul. I'm really excited about this because I feel like I got some pretty good stuff. I didn't go crazy, I didn't go wild, but I grabbed enough stuff for me to enjoy myself, if that makes sense. So we're gonna first start with my foundation. So as you guys heard in my Sephora haul video, I bought the smaller size of the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. The reason why I bought this is because I have the larger bottle, but I have it in shade 5.5, and I have never liked that foundation. And I was always curious if I didn't like it because I didn't have the right shade. So I bought 7.5 thinking if it was a little bit too dark, I could always lighten it up with the 5.5 that I have. Now, this is pretty warm, but this weekend I was out in the sun, so I'm starting to get a little bit of color on my skin, which will be good. So we're gonna put this on first, and I'm gonna give it a try, you know, see if it lives up to the hype. You know, I've just never loved this foundation, and I'm hoping that it was the shade that made me not like it, because everybody seems to love this foundation but me. Like, I feel like I'm the only one that doesn't like it, and I'm like, why do I not like it? Why does everybody else? So I'm curious. I bought this shade based on curiosity alone. The thing about the Luminous Silk, it seems like everybody has said that they like applying it with a sponge the best. I always prefer, you know, putting a thin, even layer all over my face with a brush and then smoothing it out with a sponge. That's kind of how I like to apply my foundation. But it seems like everybody loves applying this foundation with a sponge. And it seems like you get the best results with just applying it with a sponge. Just to be fair, I'm gonna apply it with the sponge. You can see it's kind of warm, but I do think that once it blends out, I think it'll blend into my skin pretty good. Okay, so I think it melted into the skin really nicely. It does look pretty natural. It does. It looks really natural. You know, you could probably build it to a full, but I would say it's just more of like a natural kind of foundation. But so far, I think it looks pretty good. I'm not like overly impressed with it. Like, I'm not just going, oh my gosh, I understand now. You know, like that's kind of what I'm wanting, is for me to apply it and say, okay, that makes sense. Now I know why people like it. I think the foundation is decent, but I'm looking for that special thing about it. Like, I'm looking for that special part of the foundation that makes it worth the extra money. So far, I like it, but I'm not like in love with it yet. So we'll see how it wears. But during the sale, I picked up the Kosas concealer. So this is called the Revealer. This is called the Revealer Concealer Super Creamy Plus Brightening Concealer. It retails for $28. I picked up the shade 5.5. It is for medium with olive skin tones. This is actually pretty light, so it seems like this concealer runs pretty light. I have not tried it yet, but I just kind of swatched it on the back of my hand and I was like, oh crap, this is kind of light. And just kind of blend it out. I do think this concealer is pretty light for a medium skin tone, but that's just me. It's a medium coverage concealer, eye cream, and spot treatment in one that reveals better looking skin upon application and over time. It's for normal, dry, combo, and oily skin. Okay, so that's a very lightweight concealer. It's supposed to be a really clean formula. I do think it's a pretty concealer. I don't know that I like it more than the Ilia or Ilia. I think it's Ilia, I don't know. I think I get a little bit better coverage from it, but this is really pretty and radiant, and it's kind of like healthy, but you can see some of the dark circles coming through. Like you can see, this is definitely a light medium coverage. If you have any dark circles, you're gonna need more coverage than this. If dark circles are not an issue, I think this might be a pretty decent concealer. Have to see how it wears. That's the key. We gotta see how it wears. We're gonna move on to brows. I have three new products for brows. So I first got the Milk Makeup. This is the Kush Triple Brow Pen. Now I discussed this in my Sephora haul, and this is a tricky pen to work with. It just is. I know that some people are loving it, and I'm so glad it's working for them. But for me, every time I use this, if I don't get it at the right angle, it just makes a marker mess. See the little divots in it? Those are kind of, you know, it's kind of made into like those 3 different sections. The trick is, if you press too hard or you're doing it at an angle, it will make one big marker. And it'll kind of, the little points will all run together. If you do it at the perfect angle, you can get single hair strokes out of those 3. But I think if you've got brows like me, where they're growing out, but you just have a little bit of gaps, I would recommend just one single marker. If you have really thin brows and you want to draw them in without needing to do it with a pencil, then this would definitely help, because you're going to be able to cover more landscape with a product like this than you would making single strokes with a single stroke marker. So it depends on your brows whether you're going to like this product or not. Now I also got the Patrick Ta Major Brow Shaping Wax. So when I first ordered it, the brown was out of stock, so I was only able to get clear. So I ordered the clear. And this is what the clear looks like. I've used it twice, I think now, or 3 times maybe. And the brown came back into stock. So the clear was sold out, and then the brown came back into stock. I got a notification from Sephora, and I jumped all over it, and I got this one. So this one is in the tinted. Rub your finger across it, there's nothing. There's no color. It's so weird. There's no color. But then once you put water on it, I've never used it. This is the first time I've even looked at it. This is the translucent one right here. You can see it see-through. In order to activate it, you have to spray it with water. They said you can spray it with water or setting spray. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray this. So then I'm gonna take my spoolie and run it across the tinted. He says to take the other side and do this with it, and you kind of like push it and like stick it to the skin, which is so weird. It looks really weird to do it like that. It does. It looks so weird. I should pull you guys in. I'm sorry. And then you go back in it and shape them. Oh, that looks pretty good actually. So now I'm going to just use a regular spoolie, and I'm going to do the transparent one. Take the end of this and kind of push them up. It seems so weird to do that. One thing that I will say that I haven't liked about using it is that you have to make sure that it doesn't dry, because it creates these little flakes. See all those little flakes in the brow? And that kind of bugs me. So you have to kind of re-wet your spoolie and then go back in it. You just got to keep wetting it. I just don't like those flakes. I don't like that flaky look. But can you guys tell a difference between the translucent side and the colored side? I can't tell a difference. This one doesn't create the white flakes like the translucent one does. So I've used the color one and I keep going into it and I'm still not getting the flakes like the translucent ones. So you guys saw the buildup, and it's just basically the soap is what it is. Let's just call it soap for a second. Let's just call it soap. So it's basically the soap isn't wet enough, and so it gets a little bit clumpy and kind of flaky. And so you can see it sitting on your brow, especially if you have darker brows. If you have blonde brows, you're not going to notice it. But if you have darker brows, you'll notice it on the hair. I was afraid that this was going to be too dark, but it's so lightly tinted that it really doesn't make that much of a difference in my personal opinion. Let's go ahead and use this marker. Now, again, you have to come at it at a perfect angle to make sure that you get the right strokes of hair, which is such a pain in the butt. Okay, so my battery ran out and I didn't realize it as I was over here in my brows. I was so focused on my brows that I didn't realize the camera had turned off and the battery was dead. We're gonna move on to contour. You guys know that I uploaded a video of the cream bronzers from Fenty. In that video, I did a price breakdown and compared it to the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate. This is actually this is not as expensive as I originally thought because of how much you get. So when I saw the sale come up and Intensity 1 finally come back into stock, I am excited to try this, you guys. I am so excited. Oh, I hope this shade works for me. Oh my gosh, I've been so nervous about it. Oh my gosh, you guys. This contour is fantastic. This contour is fantastic. It's a little bit warm for being a contour product, but it's perfect. Like, it is so natural and so beautiful. Wow. Wow. Yeah. That was definitely worth the price, for sure, 100%. I can see why everybody loves the Shade and Illuminates, because these are worth every penny, in my personal, humble opinion. That was worth every penny. We're gonna move on. I have this new bronzer from Tarte. This is the Breezy Cream Bronzer. It's in this shade Seychelles. Seashells or Seychelles? I freaking don't know. But it's from Tarte. It's their new bronzers. And I'm excited to try this formula. I didn't have the best experience with the Fenty ones because they just kind of kept blending away on me. So the only thing you have to be careful with, I've noticed with a cream bronzer, is the cream bronzer, it's not, you can't apply it like you do a powder bronzer. A powder bronzer, you can buff it into the hairline without it like getting gross and gunked up there. But with a cream, that cream will attach to your hairline very quickly. So you want to make sure that you keep this out of your hairline unless you want makeup gumped up in there. I mean, I know some people do it and they don't seem to not like it. I don't know. It bugs me. It bugs the crap out of me. But anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. Let's go ahead and get started playing with this. And I'm getting ready to tap it and just start softly kind of buffing that in. Now I feel like this color is almost the same as what the Tom Ford looks like. So I don't know that it's going to make that much of a difference, you know, because normally I like my contour to be a cooler toned and then a bronzer to be a warm tone, and it kind of comes together. If you're stacking a warm contour and a warm bronzer, it just doesn't look right for me personally. Now, I will say I do like this formula a lot. I think it's a pretty good formula. We'll see if it stays if I put a little bit of powder over it. Because that's the thing is I want to wear a little bit of powder. I think I'm okay to wear a little bit of powder. With a cream anything, you should be able to put a little bit of powder over top of it and not have it completely disappear. So next up we have this from Tower 28. This is the Beach Please Luminous Tinted Balm. These are the tinted cheek blushes that I am very excited about, and they sold out so fast. I was only able to get one shade, So I picked up Golden Hour. So this is what Golden Hour looks like. I've swatched it to see what the shade is, and it's a really pretty shade. It's kind of a terracotta peach. A little bit of a terracotta, a little bit of an orange. Okay, so let's apply that on the cheeks. I'm excited to see how it compares to my Honest Beauty. You guys know I've been raving about the Honest Beauty cream blushes, which this blush, because I fell so hard for it, it's kind of made me more interested in cream blushes and cream bronzers and stuff like that, because I have just fell so hard in love with this. It's so beautiful. It's such a great formula, and it's cheaper, you know, it's cheaper than what you buy at Sephora. Okay, so I'm gonna grab, ooh, okay, so if you think you got too much, tap off on the back of your hand. Now, these are way more pigmented than the Fenty Beauty, which could be dangerous for those of you that don't want it too pigmented. You know, you got to be careful applying it because you don't want it to be too much, just like I did. I got to start blending this out. Ah! Okay, that looks good. It's, I mean, even if you get too much, you can just go over it with a sponge and kind of push it into the skin. I think it looks fine. I might be a little bit rosy, but once I put a little bit of powder on, it'll calm it all down. You guys know I love my Hollywood Falls filter from Charlotte Tilbury. I have always had shade 5, and I love this shade. It's beautiful. It's kind of a tan shade, and I usually wear this underneath my foundation. It just really makes my skin look gorgeous. So that is shade 5. Because shade 5, it was too dark to wear as a highlighter. So this is shade 3. So this is shade 3. This is the shade Spotlight in the Beauty Light Wands. So number 3 kind of looks like Spotlight to me, but Spotlight might be a little bit lighter, but I use this so much that I was thinking if it's similar to the Hollywood Falls filter, then I want to buy the big one because I'm actually going to end up saving money because I love these light wands so much and I use these a lot during the summer. So I was thinking, well, if I could get a lighter shade and use it as a highlighter, that highlighter will last me a really long time. So I'm going to go ahead and put some here on the back of my hand. I love being able to control how much you get. The doe foot applicator is genius when it comes to this product. So then I'm going to take this side of my sponge and go into it like this and pick it up off the back of my hand. And then I'm going to use the sponge to apply it on the high points of my cheek right here. Yes. Oh, that's so pretty. Guys, look how pretty that is. The Hollywood Falls filter is beautiful. And I would recommend the Hollywood Falls filter for those of you out there that maybe don't like a really strong highlighter and you want something that just reflects but looks very soft on the skin. That's the Hollywood Falls filter. It just looks beautiful on the skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and just run this along the places that I want to kind of buff things together. Now, I don't want to get rid of the luminosity of the cream look because I understand that some people are like, well, why are you going to wear powder? Don't you want that glistened kind of, you know, beachy look with that creamy kind of skin and stuff? And I get that. I understand that. But I want a little bit of powder to kind of buff it all together so that it doesn't, you know, just so that for me, buffing it all together is just, I can't do my makeup without doing that now. Like I need a little bit of powder. Now I'm going to use the new Hourglass. This is the Veil Soft Focus Setting Spray. I really like this setting spray. A lot more than I thought I was going to. Okay, so let's move on to eyes. Now I only got one product to use for my eyes, and this is from Touch in Sol. These were on sale, and then you got the extra 20% off. So these are the METALUST Sparking Foiled Pigment Eyeshadows. Of course, I got them in the shade Peach because I'm kind of a peachy girl. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. I really love peach. These are more, like, it looks a little bit more translucent, a little bit, it's not as opaque of a peach as I was hoping, but it does look really, really pretty. I'm gonna use the new Hourglass. This is the Veil Eye Primer. While I was on the website, I picked up the TWEEZERMAN eyeshadow curler. I've heard everybody say that these are great for all really almond shaped eye, like deep set eyes. So I went ahead and picked this up. This eyelash curler is great for our almond eyes. I really like it. During the sale, I picked up 2 eyeliners, 2 that I've been wanting to try. My biggest mistake was I got them both in black. I wish I would have got one in brown. But I have been wanting to try the Bobbi Brown Longwear Gel Eyeliner for a really, really long time. I've heard a lot of people say that this is one of the best eyeliners out on the market, especially for a waterline. You know, like the upper waterline, you put it on with a brush and they say it just lasts forever. So I'm excited to try this. And then I also picked up this from Hourglass. This is the 1.5 millimeter mechanical gel eyeliner, and I got it in black, which is obsidian. And this is tiny and I love it. I don't think this is gonna last very long, which I'm glad I got the Bobbi Brown. But I love how small this is. I wish that all eyeliners came with this tiny little pencil. It's really pigmented, and I think I'm gonna buy the brown one. I think they sell it in brown. It's really pigmented, and it just gets right up into those little lashes. It's like the best eye pencil, I'm telling you. It's expensive though, that's the problem. So now I'm gonna grab just a tiny little pencil. I'm gonna go into the Bobbi Brown. Take a smudge brush and blend it out just to kind of break it up so it's not so black, you know? Okay, so I'm gonna grab my KKW Beauty and the Artist and Muse palette, and I'm gonna grab this shade right here. It is beautiful. Prettiest blue, and I think it will totally match kind of what I'm wearing. So I'm gonna take that same eyeliner pencil. I'm gonna grab, it's the shade The Artist. I've wet down the brush, and so I'm gonna kind of make that shadow an eyeliner. So I'm gonna go right over top of this black and make it a blue eyeliner. It's so pretty. I love that color. I am gonna take this shade right here. It's called Glam King. And I'm gonna go right into the crease with this and kind of build that shade up, kind of carving things out. And then kind of connecting it down into the brown and then covering the outer corner with it as well. I just want a little bit of something in the crease. I don't want it to overtake the crease. So I'm just lightly kind of carving it. I'm gonna go into I'm Inspired. It's kind of a dark brown, and really carve that out and build a little bit of dimension in the crease. And then I'm gonna go in with the brush and blend that out as well. I'm gonna take Glam King and bring it on the lower lash line as well. And then I'm gonna go into that dark brown I'm Inspired and just kind of keep that real close to the outer corner. I'm gonna go into this Metalust from Touch in Sol, and I'm gonna use this on the lid. So I'm gonna be using my flat definer from Sonia G, and I'm gonna kind of wet the bristles down a little bit just to control the fallout. That's so pretty, right? Oof. They're so easy to apply if you wet them down. It gives you that really pretty foiled look. That is so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love that. It's beautiful. Okay, so let's move on to lips. I went ahead and threw on some lashes, and I got one lip liner because I've always wanted to try the Marc Jacobs lip liners, so I picked one up. I grabbed this in the shade Nudist, and it looks like it's a really, really, really pretty, like perfect nude shade to like contour the lips with. So this is Iconic Nude from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is Marc Jacobs in Nudist. So Nudist is a tiny bit, just a tiny bit lighter than the Charlotte Tilbury. These are really creamy, like gel-like. Because you can see it's almost the same color as my lips. See that? It's almost the same color as my natural lips, which is great. So as you can see, I kind of contoured with it. So I drew outside the lines a little bit with that shade. Now I am going to grab this shade from KKW Beauty and Mario. This is in the shade Beauty Icon. This was in the KKW Beauty and Artist and Muse collection. Now I'm going to use this to actually fill in my lips. Okay, so I had to go off camera for just a second to answer a phone call. So I am back, and now I need to put on a lipstick. So I'm going to grab the shade Unbuttoned from Fenty. You know what I could do to make it fun? I could add a little bit of this right there on the lip. Should I? I should, huh? Now that is pretty. Okay, so this is the final look, and now I want to go through the products and kind of give you guys my thoughts on them. Let's start with the foundation. I think this foundation looks really, really pretty. I'm curious how it's going to wear throughout the day. So what I'll do is I will put it in the description box down below tonight, because right now it's about 2:30 in the afternoon. So I would say I probably finished my face makeup maybe around noontime. So I'm going to wear this for as long as I can, and you know, probably 10 hours, I would say 10 to 12 hours. We'll see how the day goes, but I'm going to wear it, and I will let you guys know in the description box down below what I thought about it. If this shade made me like this foundation more, because I'm still kind of on the fence to see if the shade makes that much of a difference, or if the foundation is just not right for my skin. The concealer, I like it, but I definitely, for me personally, I need way more coverage than this. You can see my dark circles really coming through, and this is a very radiant concealer, and I don't know that I love it. I feel like this is a really good concealer on those all natural days where you're probably not going to wear much makeup. This one is not for like a full beat situation. What I do know is that I need more coverage. I definitely am a person that needs more coverage. As far as the contour, I think that's my new favorite product that I bought. Out of everything I got, this is definitely what I'm most excited about. I really, really love this. This blends itself, and I feel like this is going to last me a really, really long time. And the reason why I decided to buy this is because I'm almost out of the Charlotte Tilbury, the one in the wand. And, you know, that lasted me for about 1.5 years. And then I'm almost out of the KKW Beauty. And so I thought so much product in this pan that I thought, well, I'm going to try it. And I'm really glad I did. This is a great contour product. I am so excited that I have this in my collection. And this doesn't look like much. Like the highlighter doesn't look like much, but man, when you put it over a highlighter, it just brings your highlighter to life. Like it's really pretty. It's a pretty gloss. Okay, I love this palette. It's definitely the best thing I bought so far, I'm just gonna say. So the next thing is the Tarte Breezy Cream Bronzer. I like this bronzer, and I think I like it more than the Fenty Beauty formula. I feel like these don't really blend away quite like the Fenty Beauty does. I could probably use a darker shade, so I might keep this one, you know, for winter time and maybe get me a darker shade for the summer. So there's that. Now the blush is very pigmented. It's just exactly like the Honest Beauty. So here's the thing. If you don't want it too pigmented, I recommend the Fenty, because the nice thing about the Fenty formula of the cream blushes is that they're extremely buildable. You can really go in and barely kind of tap in and build it softly. So it depends on what you prefer. If you want something that's a little bit more buildable, I think the Fenty Beauty ones are amazing. If you want something just that gives you, you know, instant pigment and you can blend it out, then I say the Honest Beauty Power 28 is great. I feel like they're about the same. So these are more money than the Honest Beauty. So it's like I think this is a great product, and you get really good pigment, and you could see that when I put it on, it was really strong. But then once I took a brush to it and then went over top of it with a sponge, I blended it out quickly without any issues. And it does not look bad at all. It looks really, really good. I'm looking for something that is worth the splurge compared to the Honest Beauty one, and I just haven't found one yet. I still love the Honest Beauty. I think it's fabulous, especially for the price point. So there's that. Next up, let's talk about the brow product. I think I told you guys how I felt about the brow product. I think I like the tinted version the best, just because you don't run the risk of getting that flaky look that you get with the translucent or the clear one. As far as this, I think this is really pretty on my eyelids. I mean, this is a beautiful shade. So if these are still on sale and maybe they're still in stock, I recommend these. These are really pretty. What else did I use? Oh, the eyeliners. Okay, I am so glad that I got these eyeliners. I think the Hourglass one is going to be the one that I use for my upper waterline, because it's so small and so easy to get up in there and really go in between the lashes without messing up my lashes. And I really like this formula too. And I like how they're not bleeding down into my bottom waterline. Both of these just really knocked it out of the ballpark. Like really, really good. The lip liner, I think it's a great lip liner, but I don't know that it's worth the extra splurge. I don't know. This is a formula I'll have to continue to wear. I've only just tried it on. It glides on really easily, and it looks really pretty. The color is really, really pretty, but I just don't know if it's worth that extra money based on some of the other lip liners that I have. So that remains to be seen. And of course, I love my new Charlotte Tilbury, the new shade that I have. I'm obsessed. So that's it. That's it for my try on from all the things that I got from my Sephora haul. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Love you. Bye.